Yeah, he said something about extracting bodies from the craft, and he said that usually doesn't go well for either
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
I read through
Right?
that. He said in some crashes, they'll just wait for these beings to just die off because
Wow.
if they go near them, they'll probably do some harm to them. So they just stay and wait for these beings to just die out.
In your room, or certainly something's changed, so now I can see you much better, and
I just
I almost don't recognize you.
I just got. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear
I
me?
can. Everything's good. Yes.
Okay. So I just put like a small lighting setup so you can see me
Oh,
clearly
hell
this
yeah,
time.
you're ready, huh? Taking it pretty seriously. You've just told me that you were making some notes so that you don't miss
Yeah,
anything.
I was catching up to the things that have happened. I
Yeah,
kind of took a
yeah,
break from the UFO topic because after the David Grush hearings, nothing much has happened yet. We are waiting on
mm.
the September hearings.
September hearings, right?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
upcoming
that's
hearings
interesting.
on that David Grush guy, his claims and
Yeah.
all.
Well, you're
And
going to have to take me on a long journey because I myself have also admittedly fallen off this, information train wagon. But then, the reason why I decided to get back to reach out to you once again, because I have had this consistent feeling that something big is happening in the UFO world. And I felt like, man, I want to know what's up. I think the aliens are out of fucking pocket. These bastards been going crazy. What's up with these bastards? Tell me.
it's weird time, man. It's very weird to live right now. And I started following this topic around 2015. I never expected that these things are gonna happen. I never thought,
Yeah.
ki, okay, there would be congressional hearings and countries are
Yeah.
coming out and saying that these things are real. And I went through that the link you have given me of that
Hmm.
4chan
Hmm.
whistleblower guy. I read
That's
through
a
that.
crazy lick, isn't it?
I read through that, and it sounds like it's sounds like it's possible. Like that kind of thing is
Yeah.
it is mind blowing if that is true.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I
If
was not reading much into it, and we shall give a little context to our viewers or listeners, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it. So, what's been happening recently? What is all this hype about? Would I be right to say that the US have finally released some footage that they obtained a couple of times of some sort of unidentified flying object, and now it's been out in public officially? Am I right?
yeah, uh,
Okay.
you're referring to the 2004 Nimitz encounter that they released the three videos, one the Go Fast video and the Tic Tac video. Are you
Mhm.
referring to that one? I guess.
And would I be also correct to say that that's the footage that those Rogan's guests have repeatedly pointed out to? But before now, those videos had never surfaced, and only now they are officially out, right? But
Yeah,
to us, to people who have been at least relatively into the topic, it's not really surprising, right?
yeah, I guess 90% of the population, the global
Hmm.
public, has no idea about this topic right now.
Correct.
But you can see it's slowly spreading. This
Hmm.
information, this new seriousness that have been coming to this topic has been
Yeah.
deliberately, I think, spreading through the populations slowly and steadily. It seems like it's all planned out. Seems
You
like it
think
is.
so?
I feel like yeah, this information that they're bringing out could be a slow disclosure or it could be just another misinformation campaign, but it's really hard to know what is going on right now. It's the water is so muddy right now
Right.
with the David Grush claims and the news media is not taking this topic, still it's not taking that
Uh-huh.
seriously. Some media are, that News Nation, that the one that came out with the David Grush interview with Ross Coulthart, they
Yeah.
have been on this topic for a while now, but now they are also dropped off from the bandwagon. It's like it's
Uh-huh.
not trending anymore, it seems. This topic has not been staying in people's ear for longer terms.
Frankly speaking, I thought to myself, I said, man, okay, what if the aliens get confirmed officially and there is a legit footage of a fucking being, of a goddamn alien, just a conventionally looking alien that this bitch is normally portrayed in a film? How would that affect my life? And from one point of view, on the one hand, is like, shit, that's the biggest news for humanity. What the hell could be bigger? On another hand, I mean, I'll be, off doing minding my business next day, just continue tending to my shit.
It would be mind blowing the day that
Mm.
the whole world finally gets the answer that we are not alone and we are being visited by some another intelligence. That would
How
be the
would your
news.
life change once the aliens are officially out? I'm telling as if they've been jailed or something.
I don't know. It would be very disturbing also.
Yeah, yeah.
Like till now, this topic has, I believe right now that we are not alone and we are being monitored in some
Mm.
fashion. But as soon as it is confirmed and data is released, that public can finally say, okay, this is not just some misinformation campaign going on. This actually a real thing that people are dealing with inside the government and outside the government.
What would it take you to seriously, wholeheartedly believe in the realness of a supposed footage? If a footage does get out, what kind of evidence would it take from you to truly believe? Because there will be all kinds of non-believers, so to speak, and rightly so, right? So would you immediately believe in a video of that kind?
If they release a video with a radar tracking data and multiple sensors and multiple angles, then
Mm,
it would be very hard to dismiss it.
mm, mhm.
Debunkers won't be able to say that this was some lens artifact or some weather phenomena or something. We need to have
No, I'm
multiple
talking
source
about a
of
legit being, like, a creature. What if they release a video with a legit damn creature? Fucking, what do you call them? What kind of contact? Close
grace
encounters? Yeah.
encounters of the third kind. Yeah,
Yeah, man, what if it's encounters of a fucking first kind? That kind of good. You know?
it would be scary.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like if they are treating us like just another organism on this planet, it would be
Mm,
scary because they won't
mm,
care how to deal with us. They might be just as that 4chan guy was saying, might be just the zookeepers, and we are the animals.
mhm,
They're just seeing
mhm.
what we are doing. They're just monitoring us, and maybe they don't have any intentions of harming us, or they just don't
Right.
care if
At
we
least not
come.
consciously, right? I really like that comparison with an anthill. Like, we
Yeah,
don't mean
yeah.
to kill those ants, but we may accidentally, or if we need to, if they stand
If
in
they
our
come
way.
in the way, we won't hesitate to get rid of them. So if we are in the way of their intentions, maybe they don't even care. But if something destructive could happen, would have happened till already,
Mm, mhm, mm. Oh,
or
you
either
think
there's
so?
something coming, and
Mm,
that I
mhm.
always have this theory that these might be the scouts and the big one is actually heading our way.
Okay, okay. Well, I think I'd be right to say that that's something that the author of that leak post was implying to. He was
Yeah,
kind of
he,
implying something that they are not the main boss. They were rather some kind of autonomous objects that was sent by somebody else. So, do you think? So you kind of make you have a vibe of them being menace, of them being a threat to us. Do you lean closer to the theory that they can be of a threat, and you're not buying them being peaceful at all?
if they are sufficiently advanced enough, they wouldn't
Hmm.
need to have a war with us or anything.
Hmm.
They already have everything they need.
Hmm.
But if in some guys on Reddit were saying that they could just create conflict just for entertainment.
I want to get into that post because for those who will be listening, might be a bit of material for the future.
Man, I went through that post for like constantly 3 hours, read through that, and it is well written.
Huh. And have I maybe sent you the link to the post other than just the screenshot? So I think I've only sent you the screenshot. I'd
Oh
also
yeah,
be curious to. to read the link. Do you got the link which I
No, no, no.
sent
You
you?
have given me the impure, the
Uh,
photos and the screenshots. I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it on my own.
I
That
can
guy,
send you once
whoever
again.
that guy was, he was saying that he's gonna keep talking about this for a while now.
Yeah, how the hell? And do you really think that he's got cancer and he's dying?
That was the weird part. If he was trying to be anonymous,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have said that he had liver cancer because it will be easy to track him down if he was an actual
Mm.
whistleblower. Or I don't know
And
that
do you think
particular.
that info that he exposed, do you think it's really that life dangerous that would possibly put his life at risk?
Or maybe he's just trying to divert. He doesn't actually have it, but he is a whistleblower. But he's
Hmm.
trying to hide his identity by saying that he has liver cancer. So it is like a
So kind of a
misinformation
distraction.
from himself to
Mm.
distract the people chasing him. I don't know, but the things he was saying makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Like it's not like too crazy.
Mm. Well, it's elaborate. It's
It's
well thought.
it's feasible whatever he's
Mm.
saying that
Yeah,
we
so for those who will be wondering, because obviously we are talking about something that I bet majority of people are completely unaware. There's this subreddit on Reddit dedicated to UFOs, and there appears to be a post by a anonymous user who claims to, as far as I can understand, be somehow connected to the U.S. government. Am I right? Right, to be connected to the government, and he claims to have, as he says, intimate knowledge of what the US currently knows about UFOs. And it's a fucking unbelievable screenshot. Do you think I should attach it somehow to the comments in the YouTube? I
yeah, just
mean,
put it under
yeah,
the description. That holds the first link you sent me
yeah,
with the
yeah.
that
I mean,
that
it's
was a
been
very
out
good one.
anyway, right? Like, I'm
uh,
not exposing no
yeah, just add it to the
confidential
description
information.
so people can see what was going on. And that guy
So,
was claiming that he was part of the team that went to recover these crafts.
oh, right.
And he was claiming that he was like the third or fourth team that went in because some of the things were missing from the site that was recovered by other teams.
Yeah,
But
there is a lot of information that he is sharing. One of the most outstanding thing that he wrote, at least to me, is that UFOs are created by a mobile construction facility that hides in
yeah,
the ocean,
that was
right? That
mind
blew
blowing.
my
And
mind.
he claimed that every UFO, every UAP is made to spec, means
Right.
depending on what task that UFO has, it is constructed in that. There are some UFOs that are only for mining
Yeah.
materials. There are some UFOs that are mostly for cargo and transporting materials, and there are some for equipped with laboratory things to maybe do some research and collect information on us. Even he talked about those orbs and spheres.
Hmm.
But that construction facility thing, that it could be, there's something called Van Neumann probes. If you ever heard of this theory,
Uh-uh.
so this guy Van Neumann, he said ki, if an advanced even enough civilization can make self-replicating robots that
Mm.
can go from planet to planet,
Yeah, that would
collect
make sense if you
materials,
think about it.
then replicate itself, and then continue
Mm.
on its journey to other star. And they're saying that if that kind of a machine exists, in a few million years, it would be able to completely cover the whole galaxy if it wants to. And
And that
maybe we
makes
are.
also logical sense because, like, why would I go to a unknown, unexplored territory if I can deploy some kind of drone there? So I bet what we've got in the ocean, 100, and I'm fucking foreseeing the future right now. I bet what we've got in the ocean is some kind of department. It's a representative of the big boy, the big fucking guy somewhere in the space, you
And
know?
maybe it can manufacture anything it can think of. Maybe the beings itself are manufactured
Oh shit.
because
Yeah. You don't think
yeah,
in the ocean we got the main ones. You probably you think in the ocean we just got those like the workers, right? The manual robots probably that perform the task. And where else? Let me just tell you, where the fuck else if not in the ocean? We've been stupid. Humans been stupid all this time. We've been looking up, Mars. No, bitch, we don't know shit about the ocean, right? Like,
Yeah,
what
we.
does it say? Do you think that's right when we say that we've explored?
It's a perfect hiding spot for
Oh,
something that
hell.
is advanced enough to stay down there for longer.
Yeah, like Bermuda Triangle. Didn't the guy imply to
Yeah,
something
yeah. He
about the
said
entire?
that most of the disappearance of vessels and could be related to this construction facility. That if something
Mhm.
comes nearby, it basically incinerates it. It doesn't
Yeah.
like being followed or chased, or it doesn't like
Man,
things
you know
near
what's another
itself.
fucking crazy shit? But we think the construction facility, I'm just quoting the guy, the construction facility has been around since at least 4000 BC. What? Holy shit. See sightings, paintings from the early eras of history. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, oh man.
It's a very long article to go through.
Yeah,
He also claimed that element 115, and he also talked about Bob Lazar for a while there.
really.
Yeah, he was constantly mentioning that element 115 thing that Bob Lazar said when he came out to say that he was working on reverse engineering and stuff. And he also
Hmm.
claims that these UFOs and UAPs are running on that same thing that Bob Lazar was claiming.
Yeah, so basically confirming, right?
Um, still,
Yeah.
still, I'm a little doubtful about this guy, but he's constantly saying that there are more information to come that will confirm my disclosure and what he's saying.
Uh-huh. Wow, so we shall
He
see.
also claimed that there's a vault that will be opened once he dies, and those documents will be released
A
onto this
world?
same.
Like
Uh,
underwater?
no, no, no. A vault, a safe that will be
Ah,
opened
okay.
once he
Uh-huh.
dies, and
Wow.
whoever is in charge of that will release those documents that he has.
Oh,
He also claimed
okay.
that somewhere. I'll
I
try to
wonder what kind
find.
of documents they got in there in that vault.
If he actually worked on something like this, he might have kept something that could easily confirm his story.
Yeah.
But I
What are
love
you the
this
most
man.
skeptical about when you look at this piece of text? What are you most skeptical about? What was there any part where made you go, "No, that's bullshit"?
Just that liver cancer thing.
Yeah.
I went through everything. The element 115, that Bob Lazar thing he was claiming, and the liver cancer thing. If he actually trying to be anonymous, he wouldn't have claimed that he had liver cancer in the first place, because
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
very easy to track this guy down now.
Yeah. 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 Unless nobody knows that he's got it, to be honest, and
And he's
everybody will
claiming that
understand.
he only left the program like 2 years ago. So
Yeah.
whoever he is, it's easy to track him down. Maybe.
Oh, so he's not currently there, right?
Yeah, he was
So
constantly
that
mentioning
means
two
that in
years
these
ago,
two,
2 years ago. Yeah.
so probably in these 2 years, some things must have changed. I
And
bet lots of things changed.
some user asked him about Eric Davis memos, that
Hmm.
famous documentation of the transcript of a talk between Eric Davis and some government contractor that they talked about, and
Eric
he
Davis
was.
being a general. Mm.
Yeah, yes. He was the person who was trying to find out if the U.S. government was actually working on reverse engineering these crafts.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's a whole memo that leaked. It's a very famous
Huh.
thing in the UFO field. And this guy is also claiming that certain dates in that memo is weird, because he knows that these dates had major events happening during that time.
Mm.
And he's also kind of saying that that memo is real. You should, if you haven't heard of it, you should search about Eric Davis memo.
Oh hell yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty interesting. Have you listened to this latest Rogan's episodes with Corbell? What's Corbell's first name? Jeremy Corbell.
Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah.
Yeah, and who was the second guest?
Oh wait, I haven't
Some
seen
kind
the.
of, I think, a general of some kind. Have you listened to that episode yet?
No, no, I haven't
Yeah,
listened to
neither
that.
have I, because I wanted to jump into this episode fresh. You know, I bet they dive pretty deep. These guys are on the front line, as Rogan said.
Yeah,
They're on the front line
the
of
Jeremy
stuff.
Corbell was sitting right behind David Grush. during the
Oh,
hearings.
yeah. Really,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, he was in
Shit.
the hearings. He
So
was.
during the hearings, can you explain why there are even these hearings? Who, why are they, why is this on some kind of like legal level? Hearings regarding what?
So what is going on is that the U.S. Congress is finding out from insiders that there is an actual reverse engineering and crash retrieval program that has been kept hidden from
Oh,
them. And in the U.S. Constitution is that the Congress should always have access to these kind of secret programs. They should
uh-huh.
know that these things are going on, especially the topic of UFOs and all. So it seems like in the US government there are two factions that are basically fighting right now. One that wants
Okay.
the truth to come out, and one that doesn't want it to come out.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And the 4chan whistleblower said that the reason behind US Air Force not openly talking about this topic is that they don't have any clue, because
Hmm.
the whole UFO field was thinking that the US Air Force is the one that has the most amount of data
Hmm.
on this
Hmm. Hmm.
phenomena. But this guy is claiming, and I also feel that US Air Force might be seeing crafts here and there and detecting it on radar and all, but I don't think they have ever been involved with crash retrievals. I think that's a whole different department that is handling that, because as we know, we have heard this word compartmentalization,
Hmm.
that in
Yeah.
the functioning of the US government, there are departments that don't communicate between each other. They don't pass on
Right.
information, and
Right.
maybe that's what the US Congress and the people like Tim Burchett trying to find out what is actually going on. What is Why
Hmm.
is it being kept hidden from general public? If there is evidence that we are not alone, it should be. It, we have the right to know, basically.
Yeah. Well, Bob Lazar was the one saying that they had been consistently recovering different objects all over the world for as long as possible. Right. So if what he said proves to be true, then it's in not to no pun intended, not to quote Joe Rogan, it's entirely possible that we have had multiple objects collected all over the world. And that is crazy. And if we have, well, surely some kind of US department must be aware of that. A lot of them must be aware of. How many people do you think know the real deal? If you had to guess, what is that? Within 10 probably people who know precisely what's up.
I think so. Like a very small
Yeah.
group of people have
Yeah.
the whole everything that has been collected till now.
Man, imagine if you're introduced into that topic and you keep it only for yourself, to yourself. It's like you can't even share it with your wife, with your mother, with nobody. Would you be able personally to keep that secret? Would you be able to tell your family, "Oh no, I'm a scientist. I work for scientist project."
If I'm tracked enough, if there are wires in my house and stuff, then
Yeah,
I would probably keep my mouth shut.
and that most
It,
likely would be. That probably would be right.
and
You've
David
got this
Grush
one.
has claimed that people have been killed by government to keep this thing hidden. In
Shit.
in that congressional hearing, he claimed.
He did really? Is
He
that
claimed that.
hearing publicly
Yeah, yeah,
available?
you
Yeah.
can check it
Really?
out.
Wow. Yeah.
The major takeaways from that congressional hearing was the UFOs have caused harm to humans, and even the
Mm.
government has tried harming people to keep this secret,
Wow.
uh, using administrative tactics to like
Mhm.
stopping their promotions and taking away their ranks to keep this thing secret. He
Mhm.
also claimed that the the recovery thing has been going on for decades. And the
That's what
first
Lazar said.
recovery happened in Italy in 1933. He claimed that.
Damn.
One more amazing thing that he claimed, he didn't directly said it, but the guy who interviewed him, Ross Coulthart, he's that Australian journalist that covered his interview. He said one thing that I'll send you the link to. He
Mm.
said one of the craft was so big that it cannot be moved.
No.
So they build a building over it to hide it.
Shit. The
And
size of a building?
and this Ross Collard and David Rush is claiming that they know the exact location of this place, and it will be disclosed very soon.
Really? That's what
And
he said.
then there would be no way of saying that this thing is not real when you have the whole damn craft sitting somewhere.
The size of a goddamn building, especially.
It
Man.
was so big. We have seen that in China they are able to move a whole hospital if they want to. So how
Uh-huh,
big is
uh-huh,
big?
uh-huh,
How
uh-huh.
big is
And they
that
could
craft?
not be
What the
fucking moved one fucking inch. Motherfucker must have been huge.
so
Shit, bro. Imagine you strolling peacefully down a street, bam. You see this motherfucker above your head.
maybe
Holy,
it's hidden in plain sight and nobody cares to bother to see what the hell is that building is all about.
bro.
And
Ain't that?
they claim that it's outside the US, United States. So it's sitting somewhere, and yeah, maybe we'll know about it soon. Who knows?
And imagine how they managed to keep such a site completely hidden, totally prohibited from passers-by. It's like, what is this place? I mean, obviously, plenty of places in the planet where you could secretly keep an object size of a building, but I mean, there's somebody must have glimpsed something. Somebody must have heard some shit. Damn, what are those helicopters? Some motherfucker sitting in his wooden hat, just staring through the window like that. Bam, you see plenty of helicopters, and you see this huge piece of shit that they're carrying in the sky.
That
Man,
kind of encounters have happened. There was this famous encounter where this woman was driving down the road and she spotted a diamond craft, a craft that was shaped like a diamond, and
yeah,
two helicopters were carrying it
damn.
over her, and she got radiation burn, and there was this whole investigation that happened. So there's a
Yeah.
paperwork trail of that particular event. I'll find you and find it and send
Now,
it to you.
now, as you are talking about it, I do recall another episode of Rogan, and there was it was an episode of a famous documentary maker. I failed to remember his name. So his latest documentary was exactly about a case, I think, in Brazil. I
Yeah,
may
yeah.
have messed up.
You're talking
Who
about
was the
James
guy?
Fox.
Yes, that one. That case blew my damn mind away. You know, didn't he speak about some kind of huge object? It what? No, but the craziest part of that episode was about him saying that a creature had been noticed. A couple of people did notice a couple
A-
of creatures, right,
And
coming out of a crushed object.
there were some few children that noticed her being near their house, and then there
Yeah.
was also a claim that a taxi driver basically carried a being to a hospital.
Yes. My
And
fucking god.
to this day they have the same reaction when you ask them what happened that day.
And wasn't somebody interviewed for that James Fox's documentary who stubbornly refused to be interviewed, and he acted really suspiciously, like almost traumatized, right?
I think you would be if you ever encounter something that is not from this world. It would be
See, man, I don't know if I'm the taxi driver and I'm carrying this damn crew with a motherfucker that clearly came from another planet. I'd be not traumatized. I'd be eager to know what the fuck I've got in my car, you know?
I'll take that alien to get some ice cream and make him
Oh,
taste different things, man.
yeah. I'd be like, bitch, where
If I
you
had
from?
one wish, that wish would be to just get a being like an alien sit next to me
Mm,
and try to communicate with it and ask where it came
yeah.
from. And
Bro, imagine
e-
you driving a car and motherfucker comes back to life and he gives you directions. He will, cut after 5 meters, cut right, cut left. You'd be like, bitch, you sit still. All right, I'm the driver. Wow.
they should make a
Yeah,
movie
but
like
that's
that, man.
insane.
They should
Oh,
make
there
that.
are plenty of shitty movies, shitty comedies about aliens, plenty of that. I don't think any of them are good enough. There are also some shitty horrors. I think
You
mostly
seen
horrors.
that movie Battleship?
I think there are a couple of them, aren't there? Like, whoa, Battleship for
Uh,
Los Angeles.
in
Oh,
this
oh, just
movie,
Battleship. Okay.
in
Yeah.
this movie, basically, aliens came down and they had this UFOs that were basically associated with
Mm,
the water. It was always around oceans only.
mhm,
And
mhm,
what this guy is claiming seems like that same scenario is playing out
mhm.
again.
Yeah, maybe he took it too closely, too seriously. Man. Yeah, that's insane. That's it. Do you have any like to go horror film about aliens? Anything that really impressed you?
No, no, not
No.
not yet, not yet.
You know
I, I
what?
I
Have
I
you?
like that Independence Day movie with the Will
Oh
Smith.
hell yeah, that's a good
That was
one.
very
That's a good
entertaining
one.
to watch.
I'm thinking of that one with Mila Jovovich. I think close must be Close Encounters of some kind. I always mistake those kinds.
That
For
Steven Spielberg movie, I guess you're talking about.
might be. You know, it's
Close
like a,
Encounters of the Third Kind, I guess.
yeah, probably with Mila Jovovich. Was there? Who's in the main
Uh,
role? I'm asking you like I don't got Google. Maybe I should employ a bit of Google myself. So
I think this you're talking about some another one.
let me. The Fourth Kind. Yeah, it was. I think it's called The Fourth Kind.
Okay,
You
okay.
seen that one?
No, no. I've seen the Steven Spielberg, the Third Kind one.
Oh yeah, man. The
Yeah,
Fourth
the
Kind.
fourth. Yeah, Mila Jovovich, the Fourth
That
Kind.
man, that fucking movie scares the shit out of me. You gotta
I'll,
watch
I'll
it.
I'll check it out, man.
Holy, it's got that creepy vibe, but it's also like psychological thriller to a certain extent. It's about
It's
a bunch
about
of
abductions.
oh hell yeah. Not only is it about abductions, but also about people having some kind of false memories after they something, and it's like I think it's in this found footage style to so you can throw the film as a view where you can see the footages of how people or how some shit keeps happening in this little town somewhere in Alaska or somewhere, and
Talking.
man, the crazy shit about that film is that there was always this owl, this cursed bird that kept sitting on every tree, and that fucking bird, it looked like a goddamn alien. So every time it looks at you like that, owls have this creepy beautiful eyes, and I was always, and now after I see an owl, I'll be like,
Oh my! I
man.
remember my friend told me about this exact thing that you have the bird and the eyes and stuff.
Yeah, wow.
Coming back to abductions, what do you think? If is abduction a real thing that happened?
Man, my grandma, may her soul rest in peace, she used to tell me wild stories about people that, back in her village, she said that a couple of dudes, always men, it's never a woman that says that she'd been abducted. If a woman said that she'd been abducted by aliens, usually some kind of sexual interaction is going to happen. It's mostly a men that claim that they're abducted. So my granny, she used to say that a couple of men from her village got abducted and they were put on some kind of spaceship where there were a lot of baths, like bath tubes, filled with honey. So them aliens would place these humans in a bathtub made of honey. And can you fucking imagine me being like 6 years old listening to that bullshit about people being abducted by creatures being put in a bathtub filled with honey? Shit. So abductions. Well, we can't simply discard the case with that guy, again, another guest of Rogan, who claimed to have been abducted for 3 days or something. I think we mentioned him
Ah,
first, right? That
yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah.
So how do you discard his case that easy? You can't just simply. The guy seems to be perfectly normal. Now I'm aware that most of maniacs seem to be perfectly normal when they bullshit you, right? But I mean, the story has been consistent, you know.
I forgot the name of that guy, but his case had physical evidence also
Oh,
in near the site where he was abducted.
yes. So something was found, right? Like a trace of something, burnt grass.
Yeah, grass was burned, and the where it was landed, there was indentation on the ground and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. If fucking put a gun next to my head, yes or no, I say yes. I say real. That's what I say. I say fucking real.
I too
I say
believe like if we casually pick up insects for them it would be abductions, right?
mhm. Oh hell yeah.
So so if there is an intelligence that are monitoring us, they'd just pick us off and see experiment on us and see what we are made out of, what we are capable of. Yeah, and even the guy on the 4chan whistleblower, he also claimed that abductions are basically happening at remote places
That
and
screen that he said, right?
haha.
Wow. Man, I didn't even finish that screenshot to be honest.
I went through
Oh,
all of it, man.
all of it?
It was
Really?
it took me like I slept through it and then I woke up in the morning and started reading it again. Yeah, some it makes sense what the key takeaway from it was the zookeeper thing. He was
Mm,
saying that
mhm,
whatever these crafts are, they are pretending to be zookeepers. They are just
mm.
keeping things in balance. Like the activities increase when there are nuclear weapons, wars, and he also claimed that in some villages or countries where they're dealing with diseases, UFO activity increases at those kind of events.
Now, one of the users asked him, are aliens human or humanoid? And he
Very
replied,
humanoid.
humanoid. And what the fuck does that mean? So they are of a different kind to us? It's not us, right?
Humanoid basically refers that the shape of the being has two legs, two
Mm.
arms, and basically same what we are.
But not us quite. Because you
Yeah,
know how some people claim it might have been us from the past.
he was saying that these things are that classic gray alien.
Really?
Yeah,
Did
when
he?
someone asked
Did
him to
he?
properly describe what these beings were, he just said they're just like the classic alien we have seen in the movies and stuff.
Shit.
The gray with the big eyes and the
Yeah,
tiny
so those
bodies.
films, they can't get everything wrong. No way it's a total fiction. No way it's totally made up, right?
Yeah,
All of these
it's
fictions,
well written, man.
fantasies, everything's based on something, whether real or thought of. Bodies are removed before we are allowed to perform work. We definitely see some passing by hands changes in all the proven methods by new management. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I
So
still
bodies are
hate the
definitely
fact that some of the mainstream astrophysicists like Neil deGrasse Tyson is still dismissing this
skeptical.
topic.
No, no.
He's very skeptical, but he's not even willing to see what is going on currently, what the government are doing, what the Galileo project and the Avi Loeb's project on finding out what this phenomena is. Data collection is happening, but some of the major scientists are not uh, keeping an eye on what new progress have been made on this subject.
See, I don't know. I used to take Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of curiously, seriously, and then after he sort of compromised himself a couple of times, I agree with some things that he say. But remember that maybe you've seen that in famous episode when he interrupted Rogan like each sentence, each damn sentence. I think that was he just flopped after that. So another interesting point. So our bodies recovered show any ranges of aging we can recognize. I wonder if most of the inhabitants are either old or dead at this point. No idea about age. Oh no, that wasn't it. So yeah, he said something about extracting bodies from the craft, and he said that usually it doesn't go well for either
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
I read through
Right?
that. He said in some crashes they'll just wait for these beings to just die off because
Wow.
if they go near them, they'll probably do some harm to them. So they just stay and wait for these beings to just die out. So the way he's describing it, it's kind of seems like these beings are not like us. They are not given birth to. They could be manufactured.
Hmm.
If these crafts are being manufactured, who to say they can manufacture or clone
So if
these
they
beings?
crash, we just sit and wait before they die.
Yeah,
And I
he also
wonder,
claimed that they are so fragile that that's why they
really,
mostly die off during crashes.
wow. Yeah, they aren't adapted to, I guess, some kind of. Yeah, I've heard recovery of living pilots usually doesn't go well
And
for either of them.
I remember in the last podcast I told you about my encounter with a orb, a bright
Yeah,
sphere, and the spheres are a type of unmanned surveillance drone.
really.
He was claiming this shaped like a hammer, but when activated, yes, they appear like spheres due to the intense light. They see light differently, and look into the sun or for them isn't an issue like it is for us.
Mm,
So the thing that I encountered kind of seemed like it was
mhm,
surveilling.
mhm, mhm,
It
mhm,
was trying to see what was under the water,
mhm,
or
mhm,
that beam that was coming, and he kind of described the same thing that I saw.
mhm, mhm. Do we even have any insight into the technology that they use to propel their crafts? What is this reverse engineering? They try to basically hack the technology in those engines behind it, right? Bob Lazar was describing something really odd, how it flops above the ground like that and then flips
It's
over,
it's
right?
it's stutters when it flies. It skips around.
Yeah,
He said it's not something that we are used to. And this guy is also claiming that gravity manipulation is the way they move around.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah,
Bob Lazar was also claiming that this thing can literally bend space time to travel. So it's basically just falling into place. It's not traveling through matter. It's belongs where it is going.
yeah,
Maybe it's just like those warp drive that we
right,
have seen in movies like Star Wars and Star Trek.
yeah, yeah. Man, it would be the most, honestly, even even if there's a shitty pick, I bet, would you say soon we are pretty likely to have some kind of shitty pick of a creature? It's probably going to be in horrible quality, but people will talk about that.
Maybe there was this skinny Bob video that was being floating around the internet for a long, long time now.
Skinny Bob.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
footage seems CGI, but kind of
yeah.
seems real also.
Have you
Maybe if they confirm, if the government comes out with it, yeah, then it will be mind blowing. Yeah. The way
Skinny
they
Bob?
came out with the Nimitz encounter videos, they declassified those videos. Maybe they should do something to show us that beings are real, also that aliens
Yeah.
and humanoids are this something that they have captured or recorded on tape.
Ah, and have you ever heard about the Dobby? And I do not imply the Harry Potter character, but there is this video, Dobby Alien, the Dobby Mystery. Yeah, you can YouTube that shit. The Dobby Mystery been solved. I think there are only like a couple of videos, maybe two of them, but they do seem creepy as hell.
I just found the Google
Yeah,
images
yeah.
of
You see
like
on the preview how a fucking creature moves.
around the car, I guess.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Shit is creepy. There have been so many. Yeah, but you know what I also must say about this, the current stage of technology and the internet. It's like, yeah, we are being permanently bombarded and flooded by billions of fake pics and vids, probably, right? But I also have a faith that once something real surfaces, all of a sudden we will all understand that this is legit now. We have like users, Reddit, 4chan, we all have a weird way to almost naturally understand what's the real deal. Like sometimes you look at something, you go like, maybe this, maybe that. But then somehow mysteriously the real shit surfaces, in some kind of couple of people reposted, couple of people, somehow the algorithm picks it up. So
I
I'm
think
I'm
there are a
going,
lot of those that have just due to the lot of amount of fake videos people have
yeah.
dismissed those also.
Yeah, that's PT. That's PT. So what else? What else from that screen you think is worth of some attention? Let me pick it up. He wrote about a lot of shit. It suggested that the ones with beings in it might be some sort of projection illusion. Genuinely curious what the fuck you're on about. So, huh,
There's one
yeah.
interesting detail he told about this craft is that everything inside this craft have spots for tools and all. Like
Mm,
everything is efficient inside it. Whoever manufactured and designed it had spots to put the tools in the particular spots. And
wow.
if that UFO is meant for abductions, there will be particular spot for two people to be put inside, and there will be particular spot for two beings to be there also.
Mm, mm-hmm,
Depending on the task at hand, the UFOs
mm-hmm,
are manufactured. And
mm-hmm,
he also said once the task is completed, these UFOs return back to the construction facility
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
just go away and disappear. And
What do
some
you
of
make?
this,
Yeah, go on.
some of the crafts that he is mentioning that it went out of the Earth's orbit.
Hmm.
And after a while, he wrote that most of the mining of the materials are done on Earth, like mining of gold and iron for this construction. And there are UAPs that are particularly specifically are used for mining,
Hmm. Hmm.
and some of the other crafts leave the Earth's atmosphere to mine other rare minerals. Maybe he was saying that also. And the most amazing thing, he said that the Tic Tac UFOs are basically cargo crafts.
Mm.
They are just
Carrying
transporting
something.
cargo.
Wow.
They have no other purpose, just transporting goods from here to
What was
another
that thing
location.
about the bus UFO? Didn't he mention something about it?
Yeah, there was a bus UFO where he like
Yeah.
beings are sitting and just observing
Yeah.
things like field trip.
That's
What
a
if
real
that
cosmic
construction
tourism.
facility is not just a construction, it's like a whole society living inside it
Oh man. Oh yeah, yeah,
and
for
just
sure.
chilling out, and sometimes they come out and observe things, or maybe
Yeah.
they are just
That's
sitting and
being sent on a work, like it's a work trip of some kind for them. They bring their families, their
maybe
bitch.
it's like a school field trip that is lasting for thousands of years. They've
What
came
I
to
don't,
study
I don't know
us.
what to make out of the fact that everybody seems to say this thing about, oh, as soon as we come close to the nuclear war, soon as the World War the Third is on the brink, that's where they intervene. That's where they step in. And I don't know if, I mean, why the fuck would they care? You know what I mean? We've already dropped those nuclear bombs, right? Twice supposedly, right? Did they do anything? Did they prevent that?
I haven't seen much of that, man. When people asked him that when nuclear weapons were used, they didn't try to stop it. These craft
Exactly.
only came to observe, and in some
Ah,
cases, and
okay.
some declassified files came out that they kind of turned off these nuclear weapons inside the silos, one after the another. Uh, there was this famous nuclear bomb shutdown.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, that is interesting. There's a theory that they that they kind of interrupt.
I have a doubt in this Zencaster preview of our voice. There is waveforms forming when you are talking, but when I'm talking, there's a flat line.
Really? Well, I can hear you pretty well. So, and your line is kind of waving, so I think that'll be all right.
For me, it's not. I just
Oh, well, it's a little bit, you know what, we are all taking it by fate, to be honest. You know, I've been used it for well, half a year, but it's still a bit of a, so maybe I should apologize in advance if this shit fails. It would be spectacular failure if it failed.
now
But
we'll record it again later
yeah, probably
on.
easier. I mean, humanity wouldn't lose much of priceless knowledge if our episode doesn't air, right? I mean, people can do without that.
It's good to talk, man. It's
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
we I think you might have also felt that not everybody is interested in talking about this. They just brush
Well,
it
let
off
me
like,
think. Well, you know, it's generally this topic gets humiliated most of the times. Even on a serious note, if you're seriously trying to bring that topic up with a friend of yours or something, it's like, oh, what do you believe in aliens? Oh, well, yeah, bitch.
yeah,
I look at you next time your ass gets abducted, you know, and let's see
yeah,
who's gonna laugh then.
yeah. A lot of people they just deny it before seeing any data on it.
Yeah, they
I
never
was
looked
like that.
seriously into it.
I also used to think that okay, it's too weird, it's too crazy. But when I have my encounter and things started changing around 2015, and then right in the middle of the pandemic, the US government came and said that like that those 2017 videos that leaked, those were real.
Hmm.
From that moment on, this topic just skyrocketed, and it's
Yeah.
still going. It
Uh-huh.
hasn't stopped its progress, and it's weird. Like people are not still are in that what do you stigma.
Mm.
There's still a stigma to talk about these things. It's still something people don't want to talk about currently.
What do you think is going to be the outcome of this hearing? Is this wrapped up, or are they still yet?
Another hearing is coming, and I think there
Oh,
will be
really?
multiple hearings.
Do you know
Because,
when it's due? I mean, when is it planned to?
it's this September next hearing.
Okay.
There are already talks about this September. They are gonna have the next hearing.
Nice.
And David Grush
So,
claims are too. It's mind blowing what he has claimed.
oh, how long is this hearing?
The one that already happened was
Yeah.
around 3 hours ago,
Yeah.
and there were three witnesses.
Mm.
One was the David Grush whistleblower. Another was the USS Nimitz encounter, David Fravor,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Ryan Greaves, something like that. Two Navy pilots and one
hmm
intelligence officer, basically, and
hmm
they all have amazing claims, man.
Now, all the conspiracy theorists right now are probably going off the rails, absolutely exploding, saying that it's all a film, basically, that it's all been staged, that they probably staged this whole hearing for some greater purpose. And I just refuse to believe in something that is not fun to believe. I don't believe in anything that doesn't benefit me and anything that isn't fun. What is much more fun is to believe that the hearing is real and we have been in continuous contact. And we are so, just think about the nature of this hearing. We have been, let's dismiss for a second that we have been in a contact with something that is out of this planet, supposedly. Just the fact that we cannot decide who this information even belongs to, that says a lot about us, I guess, and it doesn't say much positive things about us. So we have been arguing between each other. Oh, no, you don't deserve to have this info. I got this info. No, you don't got this info. I got this info. When if aliens are observing stupid humans having hearings about that, they're probably laughing their asses off at us. It's crazy. They're probably fucking with us, man.
What if the disclosure are planned by these extraterrestrials?
Oh yeah.
Like
What if some
they want
motherfucker?
us to be ready
Oh
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole
Well, that's some
humanity
kind of
be
Men in Black scenario.
to be mentally prepared for contact.
Yeah, man. What if it's a full-fledged fucking invasion? You know?
Like, it kind of feels like it.
Yeah.
And
Well, to me, not
I
yet.
kind of want it to happen. It would be much
hmm
better than the kind of life we are leading right now.
Well, man, yeah, but imagine if it's a goddamn threat. Well, what if it's a? But then, I
Why?
come from Ukraine. To me, life is not. I am not shaken over my life. That's what I've concluded this past 1.5 year. I mean, like to die for a noble cause. What could be a better death? People die accidentally. People die because a goddamn brick falls on their head. Dying fighting for something you believe in, that ain't the worst way to go in my view. So listen, them fucking, I don't care who to kill, Russians or aliens. I'm gonna take both of them down. That's what I say. I don't give a shit who to shoot. Yeah, but listen, I don't think at least Ukraine needs another invasion. Are you kidding me? Them Russians invading and also aliens invaded, bro. That's too many invasions for my liking. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. So okay, so we are waiting. You're probably gonna listen to this episode with Rogan, this latest episode that he's dropped, right? I think that's gonna be pretty exciting for you. And again, do you think people will be deeply surprised if like a real creature is exposed? Do you think it will really shake the whole
Yeah,
humanity?
I think
Think so?
that's the reason why they're not giving us, because see, not everybody can handle this information,
Hmm. What do you think
especially.
might happen in terms of reaction?
I don't know about the general public, but religious folks will.
Oh, that undermines the
They
whole
they will.
religious belief.
I'm not going to say anything bad, but they will be reacting very unpredictably. We don't know how things are going to move.
Do you think they might possibly take it as a kind of a fake, as an offense, as a threat for their religion? They would be probably offended, right?
Some will take it as an offense. Some will say that the gods are real. They're here.
Mhm.
So it's unpredictable how the whole population is gonna react to it. So
Man, imagine if religious folks decide to wage a war on them aliens. Imagine if a bunch of aliens just landed chilling somewhere in the desert.
I had this weird theory. Okay, if you noticed Elon Musk recently, okay, he has been going crazy.
Oh, for a long time.
he
Well, he's
and
autistic.
in the last 1 or 2 years he has completely overboard, and we know if these people are powerful enough to know the truth
Yeah.
of what is coming, if there is something actually heading towards Earth, and these things are just scouts surveilling, like we know in war tactics that first they'll surveil, they'll find out all the weakness, they'll find out all the important things in another, in the opposition side, and maybe this powerful people, the 1%, the 0.1%, like Elon Musk, they already know. He is
Mm.
a person who has a private space industry that is successful.
Hmm.
He has multiple satellites now through his Starlink
He must
network.
know shit, right?
He
He
must
must
know
know.
something. He must know
Man,
something. And
some.
maybe he knows it to the point that it has made him crazy. That, okay, the world is
Mm.
ending. Fuck it. I'll say whatever I want to say now. I am not gonna give one shit of what is going to happen. I'm just gonna spill everything that is in my mind. And that's what exactly what he's doing right now. He doesn't give a shit what he's saying on Twitter or
Have you
wherever.
seen that that film 2012, that disaster film?
Yeah, yeah, I seen that.
You know what they were doing? They put a price on salvation. It cost 1 billion euros, right? So if you got 1 billion euros cash, you got a ticket, and it's only per person. If you got a wife, that's two, right? You got fucking
Yeah,
them two kids,
they
that's
made
four
that
four
arc
bill.
thing to survive the apocalypse.
And man, when I was watching that film, I heard the price. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's over for me. Oh, it's fine. I ain't even gonna." You know, maybe some motherfucker would be like robbing somebody, threatening somebody, shooting some Elon Musk kind of
Hey,
dude.
maybe
I'd be
we'll
like,
get reincarnated as aliens.
"Ah, man, you know." Sometimes I had a conversation with one lady on my podcast, and she claims to be a psychic, and I often quote her. She said that I might have been in my past life a frog. So you know, and you know why? Because when I took mushrooms, I started sounding like a frog. So she said I might have been a frog. And you know, people always they always say, oh, maybe I'll reincarnate as a butterfly. Maybe I'll be a, fucking whatever, something beautiful. And
If
all.
I
But
had
yeah,
a
what
choice,
about a
I'll be
frog?
a cat, man.
A cat?
I'll
Yeah,
just,
yeah, I'd like to be a
I'll
cat
just
all
chill
along.
out at some apartment and just
Yeah,
lay
well, it
there all
depends
day.
where exactly you get reincarnated. Some of those cats, they have a tough life, man.
Yeah.
Some of that fucking, some of
My
those
my
pussies got
cat
to
has an
really fight.
amazing life though.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, but 1 bill, huh? Yeah, you got 1 bill euros. I wonder how many people after watching that film they got paranoid and they just started saving money up, just in
Oh,
case.
there are preppers everywhere
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Those
Yeah,
guys.
have you follow if you follow that Mr. Beast guy?
Oh, I've heard about him. Yeah, yeah, sure.
He went into this bunker. It was a nuclear silo that was converted into a doomsday house for some billionaire.
And so, what is it? Super secure and protected from all kinds of causes?
Man, I don't think if the world ends, people are gonna survive.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if you have a fucking bunker, you'll survive in
yeah,
there for 1 or 2 years. Then
yeah,
probably
yeah,
your employees itself will kill you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Something.
someone has to run the place, someone has to clean the place, someone has to maintain the machines, the generators, the ACs, the water supply. I don't think our things fail all the time, man.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
home Wi-Fi fails, your fucking
Oh, hell
washing
yeah,
machine fails.
hell
No
yeah.
way people can build bunkers that can survive long enough that they can
Well,
ride out
but
the
at the same
apocalypse.
time, there are those scenarios like I Am Legend, where there's one guy and he's being romanticized and portrayed like a hero. That motherfucker pulled it somehow. That motherfucker survived somehow. But he survived up to the very moment when he met a woman. That's the moment when shit hit the fan. Him and his German Shepherd, they were surviving just fine. Oh, soon as there's a bitch, and by the way, let me also point out one funny thing. What are the chances that the one woman, one man and one woman, and the woman that he ran into is hot? I don't precisely remember her. Man, realistically, she could have been some kind of fucking transgender, non binary bitch. She accidentally survived because she was sitting in her room watching YouTube, watching TikTok too much. Oh, he ran into a hot bitch, and it's perfect. There you go. Perfect. Just protect yourself. Don't fuck with them zombies too much. Lead a normal life. Go get some food. Rob some. It's not even a robbery anymore. Just go grab some food. Bam. No, the guy thought that he was fucking, Rambo. Yeah, I don't know what, but that's an interesting phenomenon, right? These preppers. It says something about human psychology, I believe. They think that they're the smartest, I think, and sometimes they might be right. Maybe, who knows? Maybe one day you will regret not being a prepper. Don't you think?
Yeah, but how long the preppers will survive?
Hmm.
I would rather if the world is gonna end, I'll go with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me
I
too.
prefer to
Me too.
go with it rather than surviving it.
Yeah, I've been part of it. I Who was that guy who said something? Wait a minute. Who was that guy who said? Oh, it might have been actually Neil deGrasse Tyson that said, "I've been feeding. I've been fed by the land or something like that. I have feasted on
Yeah,
the
yeah, he
fucking
said, yeah.
plants and meat and animals. So after I die, let the rest of them feast upon me." Right?
Instead of burning himself, just bury him so the soil
Yeah.
can take him away, and whatever energy he took from it, from the nature, will get
Yeah.
back to nature.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think. Be nice to die in a forest somewhere.
In my religion, we have to burn the bodies.
Yeah.
In the Hindu religion, it is believed that until the body is burned, the soul will not find peace.
Until the body is buried, the
Yeah,
soul doesn't find
no,
peace. Oh,
the body is burnt away.
oh, burned.
Yeah. So
Oh,
in Hindu culture, it is believed that the body should be burnt away. Your physical
really?
remains should just disappear, just like you disappear.
Do you know a lot of people who were burned after that death?
Everyone
Really? Really?
in Hindu religion, bodies are burned.
Yeah. Wow. What do you call it? There's like this word for burning. I forgot this term for burning people. Yeah, I mean, why? I mean, does it really even matter how? There are this. I keep having these thoughts that about this kind of fake deaths, how a person seems to be dead but he isn't really dead, and that would be creepy. Maybe getting burned is actually ain't a bad idea, because imagine if you wake up in the coffin,
Ah, that
right?
has happened for
Oh yeah,
a
yeah,
few
yeah, yeah,
times in
yeah.
history. Yeah.
That would be crazy. But also imagine waking up in this fucking receptacle where you're supposed to burn. Waking up being burned is worse, I believe, than waking up being buried. Right? So, bro, how the fuck did we come to this? We were supposed to talk about aliens. Anyway, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take us out. I think we've done a nice 1 hour. I have a feeling we haven't really covered most of it, much of it, I guess, but I think we've had a good conversation, and I feel like we've the the passion for UFOs. I think we are getting back into it, going deep
And yeah,
into
I'm
this
proud of
topic.
what you're doing, man.
Oh,
Keep it
thank
going.
you very much.
Don't give up, man.
Hell no, I'm curious about.
You're very entertaining to talk to and very
Oh,
interesting
really?
person.
Thank you very
Your
much.
name is Bodan, right?
Bogdan, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Bodan. Yes,
Yes, yes.
it
Thank
was
you very
very
much,
nice
man.
talking to you, man.
Yes, likewise.